Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, and let's go and see how this phone holds up in 2024. Now this phone has been out for pretty much like a little bit, almost like a year now, and the thing I really like a lot is that this particular device is a very good phone. It's easily one of the best phones you can still buy in this day and age, and the fact that it's almost a year now, there's been a lot of things that have actually changed with it. We've gotten another version of software, we have the next phones, the successor of this thing almost coming out very soon, we have like a lot of rumors of it. We also have this phone basically coming out when it's been a year old and it's gone down in the used market prices quite a bit. So there's been lots of little changes here and there. So let's go and take a look. First of all, if you want to pick up this phone, links will be down in the description. You can pick up this phone on Amazon or some other devices that I'd recommend buying. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, this particular device is basically giving you a massive 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display. Now this is a very good panel, and I'm a pretty big fan of the way this panel holds up. Even like when it came out, even with the Galaxy S20 Ultra, I'm a big fan of that panel too. This one is a very good panel. It's almost the exact same thing as the S22 Ultra, but I guess they didn't want to change anything last year. Still a very good display regardless. It's massive. It's a 120Hz display, gets up to 1750, peak of brightness at its peak. And that is a massive thing to keep in mind here. It's a very good display. I think it's probably still one of the best displays you can buy in this day and age, and it still looks very good. The only thing I can even see Samsung doing in the next one is like making it maybe bigger, maybe giving us a higher refresh rate or higher resolution, but like this is already such a good panel. I'm such a massive fan of the way this panel has held up so far, and I still think it's a very good phone for sure. So that kind of covers it up on the front. Now on the bottom side, you're getting two cool things. One, a USB-C port, which is always going to be there. It's kind of common. The USB-C port does give you a couple more features with, the Samsung DeX and other things like that. So that's always a pretty cool thing that's going on with this particular device, that you are getting that type of capability with this phone, which is awesome. And you're also getting that S Pen. So with the S Pen, you're basically getting that stylus. And I'm sure you already know this by now, but it basically gives you a little bit more capability. You can go ahead and unlock this phone with it. You can take notes, you can draw on it, you can do lots and lots of things. And it's a very cool kind of feature to have with this type of phone too. Again, it's not a deal breaker, but when you are buying an Ultra phone, you are getting that type of cool feature, which is very cool. So without a doubt, that also gets a thumbs up for me for sure. It is kind of like a curved phone, so it's like a big phone. It's like kind of curved on the edges, so I think it's fine, it's kind of cool, but that's always been one thing, that if you're going to go ahead and buy this phone, it is a little bit of a different type of styling than maybe some other devices. So it's like a big phone with curved sides, just one of those things to keep in mind there too. On the back side, you are getting this frosted glass back, which is something that I actually like a lot. So having this frosted glass back is very good. I've always loved this, and no matter what you're getting, no matter what you're buying, you are going to go ahead and basically get your device like that. And it's a very cool device that I really like because of that frosted glass back and the build quality behind it. So like I said, without a doubt, definitely gets a thumbs up for me for sure there. You're also getting that camera setup, which is just beyond. It's a very good camera. And this is something that's really cool when you're getting these types of devices. You're getting a very good build quality on this type of device. And you're getting a very solid camera too, which we'll talk about in a second. You're getting wireless charging, reverse wireless charging. There's no expandable storage or anything, which would have been nice on an Ultra phone. I feel like this phone would have sold a lot more if it did have that type of capability, but it's still perfectly fine. Like, what are we going to do? There's not much we can really do about it at this point. Beyond that though, it's a really good looking phone. It looks very nice, and it still holds up very well in this day and age. So it's only been out for like a year, but it's still a really nice thing that we have here. So that kind of covers it up there. Now, on top of that, with that camera side, like I mentioned, very good camera. So you're basically getting kind of like a quadruple camera setup. So you're getting a 200 megapixel wide angle lens, 10 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. On the front, you're also getting a 12 megapixel wide angle lens. So it's a very good camera. I've been saying this for years now with our Ultra lineup. Probably has some of the best cameras that you can buy on that type of device. So with this type of phone, you're essentially getting 8K capability on the back, which is insane, and 4K at 60 on the front. Now, with that type of camera, I don't know why, I still feel like this camera is very good. It's an insane camera. It looks very good in this day and age. I feel like this camera is kind of underrated though, mostly because most people talk about the S23, for the most part. But this S23 Ultra camera, it's probably the best camera you could probably buy on most smartphones. It looks very good. And realistically speaking, no matter what you're going to do with it, you're going to have a pretty good time. There are lots and lots of features within this camera, and I would say it's kind of like overkill probably for a lot of things you're going to do with it, but it's such a good camera. It's such a solid lineup lens, and I'm still a massive fan of the way this camera's held up for the last couple of, for the last year, and probably for the next couple of years, it's going to hold up very, very well as well. So definitely, without a doubt, gets a thumbs up for me for sure from the camera side. In terms of software, this phone is still supported with software, and it's still going to be supported with software for the next couple of years. So this is another pretty big advantage here, is that when you are buying this type of device, you are going to be getting a phone that is still going to be here for at least like another 3 years, maybe more. And that's a pretty cool advantage here, that you can just buy this phone and still have a device that's going to be supported with software for many, many years to come. So with a device like this, it's still here. Like I said, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And if you are buying a device like this, you're going to be getting a device that is going to be supported with software, and it's going to be getting One UI. Now, I like One UI. I think it's great, but the stock Android sometimes still has some features here and there that might be better. But One UI has so many features built in that it's something that I actually like a lot with this type of device, that you're able to buy this phone and still get a very, very good type of, build quality and a very good type of camera quality on this type of phone, which is something I like a lot. So that's another pretty cool advantage with this type of phone too, which is something I love a lot about this phone. Now, in terms of the performance side, this type of device, like I said before, it's a very good performing device. So this thing had that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset inside with 12 gigs of RAM on the most expensive models and then 8 gigs of RAM on that base model. And I've said this, like I said, for a long period of time, these phones, they just knock it out of the park. These are very good phones. These are very good performing devices. And if you are going to go ahead and buy a device, this is one that just gives you such a solid experience for sure. So for one, if you're going through and if you're buying, Galaxy S23 Ultra, you're still buying a phone that has one of the best type of build qualities and one of the best type of performances out there right now. So no matter what game you're going to play, no matter what you're going to basically mess with on this type of device, you're going to be getting a very good performance from this phone. The only thing that may be even kind of lacking on this phone is possibly the lack of a 16 gigabyte option. The other, phones before this did have 16 gigs of, an option. I don't know why they went through and removed that. That's so weird of them to do, but 12 gigs is still more than enough. So this is probably one of the best performing phones you can buy on the market. It's very good, gets the job done without a doubt. And it just, is easily probably still one of the best performing devices you can buy, in my opinion. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. And to be completely honest, I definitely do think the Galaxy S23 Ultra is by far still one of the best phones I could probably recommend people to buy. It looks very good. It performs very well. And there's not really a lot that I can look at this phone and hate on. It's a very, very good phone without a doubt. Is it perfect? No. There are some shortcomings here and there. There are things like the Galaxy S23 Ultra, the software sometimes can be weird. It won't last as long as the Pixel 8 as far as we know right now. The performance is very good, but there's no 16 gigabyte option, which, the older Ultras did have. But I do think with that all being said, this is a very good phone. It gets the job done for sure. And this is when I look back, this is a phone that I look at and I'm like, wow, it's a very good performing device. And I still think it holds up very, very well in this day and age. So that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.